Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today we have a new topic to speak upon. You must have read the title of the video and also the thumbnail. But I want to give the disclaimer at the first is I want to tell you that this is the channel in which I am speaking raw and there is no script. So if somewhere I get wrong, you can correct me in the comment section. This is somewhere like a two-way communication which I want to make, as the purpose of this channel is very simple. The truths of the society at the same time with the problems which we face in this real world is like very concerning. And if we make a better what you say, like a better community with some logical basis, it's better. Like what is happening is important to know. And so like this, the purpose of this channel is very simple, is to make a community which is a very logical and have the facts around them. Okay, so if you know something and if you do want to add some things, you can definitely add in the comment section. You are welcome. And so this is a very raw video, as I earlier said in my previous video too. This would be something like that. So the topic is India's democracy. Okay, uh, this word democracy in India is like very celebrated word. We are celebrating we are the largest democracy in the world, and we have the right to choose our prime ministers, chief ministers, even the MPs, MLAs, everyone. We do have the right, and we do uh, practice it, and we are happy about it. We have some sort of superiority complex. Okay, that we have this right, we exercise this right. But there are some loopholes which are hampering the function of the nation. Uh, and there are some major loopholes. So some of them are directly related to the democracy part, but some of them are related to the elections. And the problem is that democracy goes in hand with elections. Democracy is living in India because of elections. If the election doesn't happen in the right way, the democracy is bound to die. So we have to think what are the problems in both the sectors. But the election part is a different part. And there are some parts of the practice of democracy in India too, which every citizen should at least take a note of, or at least should just focus on it. Now, we all know it is a special feature which we all practice. There is some sort of citizen responsibility in it too. We often forget about it, but it is important to. There is some citizen responsibility which needs to be practiced at the same time. Talking about the democracy, we think we have the choose, we have the right to choose our leaders. So the whole part lies to the leaders. We just have to choose them. The whole work is now to them. We don't care. Okay. And then we'll care about after the 5 years or after 3 years, like every elections have different timelines. So it depends upon which election you are targeting and which election you have to vote. The first problem in India related to the citizen mindset is the decentralized power. You must have heard, like India has a decentralized power distribution. If the central government has some powers, state government has some powers, and so obviously the powers have distributed in the levels. It was introduced around, I think, I don't have the right date, I'm just it was around 1970s, I think so. The decentralized powers, the Panchayati Raj was established. Now, the most important part is that Panchayati Raj is still active in the villages. People do have Panchayati Raj and they do have some sort of function. But something which lacks in the urban area is this ward parshads, which we call, I don't know the English name of it, and I don't know the other names, but like in the North India side, it is called that ward parshad, the wards basically, which are managed by one people, and it is like a very small area, like a mohalla or something, and it is managed by him or her, basically he or she is. So the most important part, and according to me, the citizens of the country often get confused in choosing them in the very urban areas I'm talking about. Like whoever is like listening my videos, I don't know. Most of you, like around 10% of you, I'm pretty sure you don't know the name of your ward parshad, or where does he or she lives, where is the office of that person, where he or she is functioning, and what different did he or she did in his or her term. But you know about the central government pass, you know about the central government things, You know about the changes made by the central government or the state government in their tenure. But we often forget what is done on the basic level. Our problems, we often forget. I'm not telling that it's wrong to appreciate or like to think about the central government only or the state government only or to practice the fast or to just choose the leaders or appreciate them. There's no problem in it. But we often we just forget about the smaller level of government. The most problematic part is this. Now I tell you why. There are many examples of corruptions, and the most corrupt place I would say are the lower levels of the government. Many people like they get some fundings, right? Obviously, they get some funding for the development of the society or the constituency from where they want. Nobody cares what they did of that money. Nobody cares. Like there are many examples. I won't take the names and I wouldn't mention the place too. But this is hampering the development of the area. Like every 5 years they come and they ask for the votes. You will think, okay, you are this fellow, okay, you know this, oh, your name is this ABCD. And everybody would came just 5 to 10, I think so, 1 to 2 weeks of like promotions of their parties, and after that they vote and somebody would win. Very few people are interested or ask about their work or what they have done in the following days. Nobody asks. Nobody criticizes. Nobody asks for their report what they have done on a very small level. As a citizen, we used to think that okay, we should have a powerful state government, we should have a powerful central government. Maybe they can change the fate. If they are like the state government or the central government, if the people there are fine, if the people there are very working hard for the betterment of the society, ultimately the money distribution or the small developments do make a change. The small developments are in the hands of these people. But the questioning in India or the mindset related to these people are very, I would say, not very serious. We often talk about what is Modi ji is doing, what Rahul Gandhi ji is doing, but we don't talk about our partials. Very often we don't talk about them. So the decentralization of power in India is on the books. We obviously they do have some power. Some places they are very active too. I'm not telling that they are not active anywhere at all. But in some places we always like this type of talks. Okay, we don't care who is seeing whom, like what are they doing. The basic necessities, the drainage coverage, the drainage properties, the garbage collection, the like light problems, the electricity problems, the water problems. These are addressed by them, the road problems, but nobody cares. No? They do have some pass, right? They are made something for their respective work, and many, like I would say, like there is a corruption. The huge corruption part takes place there. Like the money which comes in, the whole property where it goes is like very disturbing. And to find out it is very difficult since it's been decentralized, like gone and gone and gone and gone. The money which they get is also very less. But in that very less money, the very less of that part is distributed in the society, which is creating a problem. And so for me, or for according to my experience, this happens. I'm telling you, this happens. This is my experience again. If someone thinks there's some different thing going on in the country, they have the right to tell in the comment section. Since I have told you, this is a very subjective issue to speak upon, and everybody has a different mindset according to it and different experience. But according to my experience, I have experienced it. So this is my take on it and nothing else. Now, there are some things very serious. The second point which I'm going to tell, there are something very serious in the country is the election system. Now, why I'm telling you this? I may sound a bit mad or something. Some people will think that I'm a stupid person. But according to me, I do have a strong belief that the government, whether it is state government, whether it is central government, both of them are busy related to elections more than their work. I'm not talking about the bureaucrats or the people who work as an employee in the government or they are serving in the government. The problem is with the real faces of the government, the real faces who take charge of the government, who get elected by the people, but they are somewhere busy more in the politics or in the elections. Now, I will tell you the whole idea of politics is because of election. Now, if something happens, if there is election in India, for example, let's take a random example. I was reading a newspaper in my state. Okay. And I got an advertisement of that state, which is around 4,000, like around 3,000, or sorry, I don't get it. Around very far from my home. Okay, very far from my state. Like I don't know what they are doing there. I don't know the party too, to be very precise. But I do get advertisements of them, not by their respective parties. The problem here lies with the advertisement is of the government of that state. I don't know how they do it, but just before elections or just after the election, this happens. Like if the government is, like if a government gets elected for the first time in that state, the news media or the print media is like they're everywhere. It doesn't depend, like if I want from some place, right? So I'll be advertising it in my state, okay, or the neighboring states. But that ad which I saw in the newspaper, that to a front page ad, it was ad from a very different, very far away state. I don't know why it was there. That from the government of that state, and I don't get the point. Why don't the political parties are not advertising in place of the government? Why do I care about the different states' government procedure in that state? I care about my state, right? I care about my state. I care about my country at the same time. Why do I care about different states? Different states have different like working style or working people, and they do have a different government, right? So if you are advertising in very like a very far away state, I don't get the point. The government is advertising. If if a government brings out some schemes like the Kisan Yojana or something like that, and they just apply for this, for example, just take an example of Punjab. In Punjab, the government brings out some scheme for Kisan or something, so they will be advertising it in the state only, no, not in the Telangana or Andhra Pradesh that we have launched this scheme. The farmers of Punjab will be benefited. So if the farmers of Punjab are benefited, why it is being shown in the Andhra Pradesh at the same time? And in Andhra Pradesh, you are not like you are not telling them to come and buy things from you, or there's some yojana, they are not into it, they are out of it, but you are advertising it there on the name of the your government, not your political party. And this is what is very disturbing, and I don't know why they do this and why they like spend so much money on it. The news media, the print media, both. I don't know why they spend so much money on this, but I don't know. Literally, I don't know. The government is doing this in the different states. Like it is just out of my mind. I don't know why. And this is very like frustrating too at the same time. Like in the COVID times, there are many government were there who were talking about they don't have money. We don't have the money to function properly. But before some time, if there was no COVID, they were like recklessly spending on these ads. And the government was spending on these ads, not the political parties. And I don't know why. Like they are using the government taxpayers' money to do this. And this is very frustrating at the same time. And this needs to be addressed. If not addressed, the people should boycott this. And this is happening. You don't know like how much money it costs for a front page ad, a full front page ad, not in one media. Like example, there are many medias, like the Dainik Bhaskar, Hindustan, Jagran, everything, Times of India, Hindustan Times, everywhere the ad is there from the government point of view. It's waste. And like it's a total waste of money. But they are doing this just to get fame on the name of government, praising their own political party and their own face. This does not make sense. So this is a problem with election system. Not election system. I would say this is the problem with the parties recklessly spending out money in the market. And then there's a one problem with election system too. Uh, I have a full respect for the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji, but he's sometimes very busy in the rallies. You must have seen him in different states have different rallies, and he goes there. Some rallies come back, so he goes there. I'm not questioning his competency because he is selected by the Indian citizens by a larger mark, I would say, by a big difference, and he's a very popular face in the global world too. But he also thinks like I don't know whether this the ruling party right now has this agenda or not. The one election system, and I don't know why it is very important right now. Every political party is somewhere busy in the elections. Like for example, I'm taking some party names. It is not a problem. For example, there are many parties in India, like BJP, Congress, Aam Aadmi Party, Trinamool Congress, then there are AIDMK, many parties. Many parties. I don't remember all the names. For example, in 2021, this is just a random example, so I don't have the data, so don't judge me on this. For example, in 2021, Bihar elections take place. Okay, in that BJP wins. Okay, BJP won that Bihar elections, and they are working. They are working, and they are selected, and they do have a chief minister in this. Now, After 2 years, there are elections for the central government. Okay, the Lok Sabha elections. Now the whole party, the whole government is somewhere busy in promoting their own party. They are busy in the rallies. When the prime minister comes to the state, the chief minister is accompanying him just to tell him, just to like spread awareness, just to do promotion of their party, just for like obviously the promotions of this. It takes a lot of time. Like the preparation starts before 1 year. Like the 2024 elections are coming, the preparation have started in 2023 January, February, and now the elections are on full swing. Now the promotions are on full swing. Everybody is promoting their own political party. Heated debates are going on. Like everything is happening like anything. And the political parties of the government is busy because they want to govern another 4 to 5 years. For that, they have to do promotion this year to get into seat another year. This hampers the development, and it does hamper the development on a large scale. Now, the one election system may be quite problematic for some states because there should be one timeline, and it is very hard to get a timeline which is suitable for all the states and suitable for the Lok Sabha elections too at the same time. Some party, or some different state has to sacrifice their full tenure to get into this. Now, why is one election system beautiful? Is that because it's not like that you just have to vote once. No, you have the right to vote twice. You can vote for the Lok Sabha system, and you can vote for the Rajya Sabha or the Vidhan Sabha system in your state. Vidhan Sabha system around the state. Okay, so Lok Sabha elections and Vidhan Sabha elections are different things. Okay, so you do have the chance to vote twice for two different places. For example, if some person votes for BJP for the central government, he or she may vote for the Congress or Trinamool Congress or AIDMK or JDU, RJD, somewhere Janata Dal, somewhere any of the party for the state government. And so they can choose the governments according to their preference. At what level, which government was more competent, which party was more competent, which leader was more competent, they can choose according to it. So there is no problem in the one election system. Rather, it will save time. It will save the precious time and money invested in these elections. There is a huge amount of money which is invested at that time. Different elections take place at different times. It is very what you say, haphazard type thing which happens. Okay, every state is having their different elections time, and like it or not, if like nowadays BJP is a central power, more like a central power. BJP is like has many states in their control, and always obviously the central government is also with them. So problem is that if whenever a state holds an election which is of BJP, the prime minister or the somewhere of a very big official post of the government do visit, and they do promote their party. It does take time, and um, it does hampers the development of the larger scale. You won't see it like I'm not saying that they should not promote them. They do have this right and they can do anything. But it does hampers. It does hampers the working procedure of the government and also the working style of it. And on a long run, this is something which is very like disturbing, and it is hampering the development. One election system can bring some new changes. It may have some very what you say drawbacks. I'm not saying that they don't have drawbacks, but if they everything has a drawback, but this is a better option. I think so. The one election system is a better option to be opted for India, specifically India, because India is like a diverse nation, right? Every is a very diverse nation, and 20 like many more than 25 states are there. Okay, so every now and then there are elections in different states. So every political party of a political party, indirectly political party, but directly the government, the political parties which have made their government in different states are obviously they are very much busy in making their mark in different states. So it hampers the state. It doesn't hamper one state. It hampers the development of all the states. Okay, it is not like that. Like if it hampers this development of the one state, it hampers the development of all the states. Now, the third thing, which is like the most important thing, and I don't know whether Election Commission of India is thinking about this or not. The lost votes. Uh, the lost votes. What I'm speaking is of those people who are not being in their native place, who are not residing in their native place, or have to work far away from their homes. For example, I have a voter ID card of Himachal Pradesh, and for my obviously professional reasons or somewhere. I work in Bangalore. Basically, I'm an IT professional. I work in Bangalore, and so Himachal Pradesh is holding their elections on a specified date, but I'm not able to go to Himachal Pradesh to cast my vote because I am in Bangalore. Okay, I do have knowledge of their leaders of Himachal Pradesh. I do have knowledge of their work done, but still I'm not able to do. I'm not able to vote for my favorite political party or political leader because I am in some different state and I am busy there. So there is a big problem, and this is not one or two cases. There are many cases, and it happens in the Lok Sabha elections too. If a person is in, suppose, Bengaluru, there is one voting day, different voting days, and you can't vote on the same day, right? You can't get holiday for voting for if you want to go to Himachal Pradesh. You can't take a leave for 2 to 3 days for going to get for going to casting your vote and then you come back. Some people do this, and I'm not telling that does this, but those people who are not able to do this are somewhere their vote or their representation is being curbed, and they are not doing anything illegal. Like they are basically stuck in this society of the ecosystem that they have to work for their family. They are earning. They have to work for in different states for earning, and they can't come back for their casting their votes or for choosing their leader who think that they can change their fate. So this is a big problem. And these lost votes are more than, I'm pretty sure these votes are more than 10. Many people, like crores of votes, are going waste like that. Many people are not able to vote. And so this is literally, I'm telling you, this is literally getting some kind of power shifts in the democracy. Okay. Not everybody is able to vote. And so the representation of many people are still now less. If they are not getting able, if they are not able to vote, how can be their representation be very well at the same time? So they are not able to vote, first thing, and their representation is being cut. Now what is the solution for it? See, I don't have a solution because maybe the Election Commission of India is obviously they must be thinking about this because this is a very big issue. According to me, I don't remember. Times of India once had a campaign regarding this, the lost votes. The name was this only, the lost votes, something like that. And the Times of India did a campaign. I don't know what happened to that campaign and wherever it is, but it happened, and it was an issue. And it is an issue basically. There are many central government, state government employees who are working in different places. Many people who are working in different places from their native place, they can't come back for casting their votes, and those votes get wasted. Their representation or their thoughts are not being accumulated with different people's thoughts, and not a collective decision is being made, or the collective choice is being made in India. Like, if it's not, I'm not telling that they can't come to different places. They have this right. They can come to cast their vote, but the large chunk of population is unable to do it, and this is the truth which we have to accept. Now the problem is like you have to make a centralized system for this, and the one election mode is helpful. Now, why I was talking about the one election system, because if the election happens once in 5 years, these people can go and cast their votes at the same time. And I'm not saying that this is 100% will do it. There will be some problem, but they will be able, like if the Karnataka is holding elections at the same time with Himachal Pradesh, they do have a chance to go and vote for the party. Okay, but this is obviously not possible for every people to move to and fro from their state to different state where they are working. So there is no centralized system for voting in India. And this centralized system, the lack of centralized system is obviously a bit, like I would say, problematic. If this is done digitally, obviously there will be problems like hacking or something. And EVM was also questioned right now by many political parties if they win. If like every party does this, if they win and the EVMs are right, the EVMs are working properly. If they lose, the EVMs are hacked or something else. The EVMs are being tampered. It is very easily tampered. So if the problems are with the EVMs, and if this goes one step above, if something goes digitally, then there will be many problems with the satisfaction of the different political parties, and no party, I think so, no political party will accept this about the centralized computerized system of voting in India. And this is a complex issue. Basically, this needs a this is a very complex issue, and it needs a very big and very sophisticated technical what you say infrastructure, technical infrastructure, and it does need a lot of preparations. I don't know what Election Commission of India has this, what is their take on this, but this is the problem. Many people are not able to vote, and these are in crores. I'm pretty sure these votes are in crores, which are not being uh, able to reach their destination. The last problem and is about the reserved seats is like now government has introduced 33% of reservation to women in the parliament, I think so. It is a very good move by the government and I do support it. And but the problem is many in many constituencies we must have seen in lower levels, whether it is MP or MLAs, basically there is a what you say trend of the husbands or the male members of the family running the whole political agenda or the political motive of that government. Now, what I am saying is that have you seen this movie Panchayat? There was a concept of Pradhan Pati, right? And this is not a humor level, this is actually true. In the places like, I have seen this many places, like there is a concept of Pradhan Pati where the woman is being, like, she is being voted by the public as a public representative for that area. But the whole power is practiced by the his or her husband. Oh, sorry, not his or her husband. Maybe his or her husband, because now India is made it legal now. So maybe it's like that. The women are now able to. Um, they are not getting the basically rights. Okay, the husbands are basically running the government, running the official things, and just a sign or something, a sign or what you say, their acceptance is taken. So the very I wouldn't say that this is happening everywhere, but it is happening in the chunk of places. Many chunk of places it is happening. The concept of Pradhanpati and the concept was like if someone is MLA, her husband is managing the whole part. A good move by the government. I'm not criticizing it. A very good move by the government, but it is problematic on the societal scale. I would say there's not something political about it. It is wrong at the part of the society. And so it needs to change, and it is changing. I'm not saying that it is not changing, it is changing, but it needs a rapid change. Now, the second point about reserved seats are the caste reserved seats in the constituencies. It does kill the competition, and what to tell, like, it's been a long that these census have been made according to their caste in different constituencies, and you don't know the perfect numbers, and but there is some reserved constituencies where you can't. If you are a general person, you cannot contest elections from that place, even though you are very competent. Okay, if you are very competent too, you are not able to contest elections. Even though the people of that reserved constituency like you to represent them in the parliament, you won't be able to do this because that is a reserved constituency. It's been a long time, I would say, and so see, different people have different views. I'm just talking about the flaws in it. The biggest flaw was the example which I gave just before. And the second example which I would like to give is that people are stuck with one person. If someone from the reserved category gets a chance to be in the government, they usually don't let others get in. Like it is reserved at the first place. Okay, no one else can contest elections from different caste category. And so it is reserved for one caste category. In that one caste category, there is no competent leader. If there is no competent leader, so the problem is this: the people from that constituency does not have any options, and they fall out to just like they don't have the choice. They just cannot choose the leader of their choice because it is reserved at the first place. So the vote is given to that person ultimately because he or she is very competent according to some people, but there are many competent leaders. But due to the reserve policy, this person is winning the elections again and again. And so it is hampering the development of that area too. It's not like that that person is also not facilitating the people of his or her caste or the reserved constituency for which the caste reserved constituency is. He's not or she is not uh, developing their lives too. It's total like people are stuck basically, and no one else could contest elections. And this is posing a problem, I would say. This is not happening on the Lok Sabha levels. Basically, this is happening on the ward parshad levels, basically, and this is an alarming case. In the ward parshad levels, the municipality elections, this is happening, and so it is a big threat, I would say. It is a big threat to the democracy system because it is beneficial for some places. I do agree. I do agree that some castes are very suppressed by the different castes of India. But if you have reserved a constituency, there should be something like a tiebreaker. There should be something like, if a person who is very like what you say, lovable by the people of that constituency, or people think that this could be a leader, this would be a better leader who could bring the change in this society, so he or she should be like, he should be able to, or she should be able to contest election from that constituency, because it's not always about the caste. And there are some people who are with good intentions and they can change the society, but it hampers their ability to do it because of these regulations. And so I don't know the solution of it. I don't know solution because it is pan India, and if something is pan India, it is very hard to make changes to it. And there's nothing like that. Like, this place is like, this place we will allow a person from different category to contest election. No, no, no. This place we won't allow. The third place we will think, oh, we should see. It's not like that. The rules are followed pan India, and so if, like for example, if BR government tells that 33% reservation will be reserved category in the parliament or the Vidhan Sabha, or they say that the municipality elections only 33% of reserve category will be there, 56% they increase it. So it's their thought on their session. But I think so there's some problem too in the reserve category seats. So government does make a rule, that's a good thing, that's a very good thing. Their representation is increased, that's a very good thing. But on what cost is like representation is good? That person who is representing that community or that constituency, is she or her, sorry, she or he is competent enough, or people are just voting him or her just for the name of voting, for the sake of voting, just voting him for being, for just representing him in the, representing their constituency in the parliament, or they think that he's the only option for them, or she is the only option for them. So these are the points where literally there is a problem in the society, and these problems are, okay, again, these problems are experienced by me, and I've seen this many places. So these are my thoughts. Your thoughts can be different. You have the comment section, you can tell me about their experiences. And so this is all on my thought about democracy in India, and what are the loopholes which are hampering the better growth in the nation's development. So thank you for listening, and I hope you do support my channel. And obviously, if you do have some conflict of thoughts, you have the comment section, and you can discuss it in there. So thank you for listening, and thank you for tuning in.